What exactly is anxiety? Anxiety is a thought or an obsession with a collection of thoughts of something that might never happen. In other words, if it's something that's going to happen, for sure.
It's happening, isn't it?
Yeah. It's something that's happening. Most often you're dealing with it. If something is in the process, the anxiety comes from the uncertainty about the future. Now, what's going to happen if this happens? What's going to happen if something else happens? Right? Why am I going through this is another type of anxiety. I would really put that into a category of self-pity. Like, why me? Why is this happening to me? But anxiety by itself is worrying about something. It's going on, repeating those thoughts again and again and again. And these are thoughts that have been with you for ages. We get anxious about certain situations because perhaps at some point in our lives, something traumatic happened. Something scary happened. When you were, say, something can be as simple as this. My sister was eating in an Italian restaurant when she got the news about my father's demise. Now, when she eats Italian and she sees Italian food, it brings up that pain body. What Eckhart calls a pain body. It's a feeling like, oh my God, something's going to happen. I'm not feeling good. And she doesn't directly associate it with my father's passing. But there has been that strong association, that strong sense of emotions that came. And now even the sight of Italian food triggers the memory. That's how powerful your mind is. This is all conditioning. It's what we have put into our minds, saying that this makes you unhappy, this makes you, things are not going to be good for you. And therefore, every time that thought comes up, or anything even remotely associated with that thought comes up, the anxiety begins. The anxiety is your pain rising. That feeling of pain, that I'm going to be, this is terrible, something terrible is going to happen to me. Life is going to be miserable, It's old thoughts, old habits, old conditioning. That's what rises inside you. And when that rises, it creates a lot of chemical reactions in the body. Again, chemical reactions that you're used to. These are not good chemical reactions. These are reactions that raise your, things that hormones are secreted to make you escape. Right? Whenever there's anxiety, it is because in olden days, maybe when we were hunters and gatherers, it was when that anxiety was caused by Mr. Saber-toothed tiger. So you saw that saber-toothed tiger and you had to run. You had to hide, you had to fight, you had to do something, right? So your body has trained itself that when anxiety of that kind comes, when there's a danger of something happening, when there's fear of something, of something that's going to happen, it automatically releases the hormones that are necessary for you to run, for you to take care of yourself, right? Now, what is happening with the anxiety? There is no danger. There is no danger, but you have trained your body to treat that thought pattern as one of danger. And so, every time that person comes into the room, it could be your mother-in-law, it could be your boss, it could be your boyfriend, or it could be your child or your daughter-in-law. As soon as that person even walks into the room, it started. the chemical reaction in the body has started, as if you have to run, and your body cannot deal with so many chemicals coming unnecessarily, to deal with that situation of fear, of danger all the time. So when you're continuously in that mode, that is acute stress. That is acute stress. And that acute stress is fine, especially, if it's one situation, one thought, one time it happens, once a month. But if you're doing this to yourself every 15 minutes, every half an hour, every time that thought comes up, again this is happening inside, again this is happening. What are you doing inside? You are slaughtering yourself. You're killing yourself way before you need to. Because your body cannot deal with it. Your body cannot deal with this all the time. There are inner vibrations going on all the time. This inner conversation. We may not talk about it. You may seem to be a very easygoing person and not easily given to stress. But inside of you, there are these conversations going on. All of us have these conversations going on with ourselves where we're saying, okay, no, I shouldn't be worried about this. Oh my God, what's going to happen? I better not this thing, I better do this, I better talk to thing, I never sent the email, never did this, that's a deadline. All these things going on all the time. And all the time there are vibrations inside. And all these vibrations get stuck in your chakras. And when they get stuck in the chakras, they affect the concerned organs. The cells in your body, basically, when there's so much of unnecessary stuff floating around, when there's so many vibrations that are not needed, so much of secretions in the body that are not needed, the cells are not working optimally for what they were designed to. So the cells begin to malfunction. And when the cells begin to malfunction, you have disease. Anxiety is directly the cause of disease. If you are anxious, you will fall sick. You will fall sick. That is the only cause. If you were completely anxiety free, you would really have no disease. We all have cancer cells in our body. We all have the propensity. Right? It all depends on where we are holding our stress. So some will develop colds, some will develop cancers, some will get a fever, someone will get a stomach upset, somebody gets the first sign of anxiety and they're in the bathroom. Right? Some will throw up. You throw up when you're really stressed. Your stomach churns. Why? You're holding your stress right here. You're holding your belly right here. As soon as the thing is past, you feel like it's all coming up. Acute stress when you're terribly frightened. Yeah. Why are we doing this to ourselves? Whatever is going to happen, we can deal with it when it happens. Half the time, we're in situations, and we can actually pull back. We can actually tell ourselves, I'm not going to listen to the stories. Half the time, the stress causer isn't really causing the stress. Today my daughter tells me, there's no work, I'm stressed out. I said, yesterday you were telling me there's too much work and you're stressed out. So is there a happy medium here? Where, is it too much work that makes you stressed? No work that makes you stressed? It's kind of become fashionable to say, oh my God, my life is crazy. I'm so busy. And I'm like super busy. And so, like someone like me, if I tell anybody that I've got nothing to do, I'm super chill. Nothing is going on in my life. Everything is just, there's nothing happening. Yet there's plenty happening in the day. We're doing things all the time. But you do things, one by one. You just do things one by one. And what Jiddu Krishnamurti said affects me a lot. And I keep telling myself, I don't mind what happens. I I don't mind what happens. Okay, I don't believe that every time I say it. But for the most part, it helps me. It helps me because, see, we are all products of conditioning. We have taught ourselves to be stressed, to be miserable, to be unhappy because we don't think we deserve anything better. But happiness is your birthright. You deserve to be happy. You don't need to be stressed. You can let it all go. Who cares what happens? You're born and you die. What does it matter? Each one of us has got different things. To live under continuous stress, to live in a situation that is so oppressive. I mean, we are really blessed. There are people that live under tremendously oppressive situations in countries like Syria or Yemen. You're not there. You're not there. There is no reason to have anxiety. You have everything. You have everything that a human being could possibly need. Now that you have everything, you have the freedom to go out where you want, to dress the way you want, to eat a meal in a Chinese restaurant if you wish to. All these little things we take for granted. Now we need a reason. We have to find a reason to be unhappy. Because why? We don't deserve to be unhappy. We need to be sad. We need to be stressed. We need to be miserable. Why? You have everything. You have everything. And you know from experience that whatever problems you have, they come, they go. Nothing stays. Everything sorts itself out. Every problem that arises is taking you to a different level for you to find that solution. And once you find the solution, you're not talking about it. How am I going to pay this mortgage? Or how am I going to finish writing the book on time? Or how am I going to finish doing this painting or finishing my taxes or, going through my day? Every day you're going through so many different things, but you know it all gets solved. So why are you anxious? Why the stress? It's because you're not taking the meditation into your life. It's not enough to just come once a week and meditate. You have to meditate every day. You have to take that meditation into your life and catch yourself every time you're in an anxious thought. You're in an anxious thought. It's like, okay, what's the worst that can happen? I'll lose my job. Okay, so I'll lose my job. I'll find another job. What if I lose my job and I don't find another job? You can sit with that thought all the time, but what if you lose your job and you find a better job? Right? That's a much better way of thinking. It's a much better way of thinking. To be a doomsday messenger saying, oh, my life is terrible, nothing's ever going to happen, everything is just misery, I'm just going to grow older and older and older, and one day I'll just die. Misery, what a life this is, Is that any way to live? Is that any way to live? You might as well have died long back. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what you achieve. We all have different things going on in our lives. We all have our own little basket of troubles. But the quality of your life is, are you happy now? Right now. With everything that God has given you, or life has given you, or this world has given you, or you've given yourself. Because this is it. There isn't anything else beyond this. Right this minute, if you are not happy, if today you didn't make it a day full of joy and happiness, then you are never going to be happy, because tomorrow is just a collection of todays. The technique of living, the art of living, is to be happy right now. To let your worries go and say, so what? So what? My boss is mean. That's her problem, not mine. She can say what she wants. I will continue to work the way I work. What is she going to do? Right? We think too much. We think too much. We need to live in the present. We need to live moment to moment. Forget about our thoughts. And just develop an attitude where you don't mind what happens. Let anything happen. You can deal with it. That'll bring the smile. That will bring the smile, and that's precious. That's just priceless.